And today, I have Char Willie with me, and we're gonna be. Well, we should have other people coming soon, or if they don't show up, then anybody from the chat can come in and speak. But I'm probably at the very least, I'm probably gonna be maybe 30 minutes to an hour. So anybody that want to get in at that point can come in. So today we'll be discussing the future of AI.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's kind of got me thinking about like how AIs are becoming more and more prevalent in society. People are saying that these AIs will take a lot of jobs away, and I mean I kind of see that with the job with a lot of jobs being having repetitive tasks. I can see those being run by AIs because it doesn't really require much brain power to actually do that. Now, some of them may not may require some muscle. Some of them might not. But those type of jobs, you know, AIs could probably easily take over that. And I can see like a lot of people lose jobs because companies want to make money. But the only problem that I can see coming along with that is if the AI starts malfunctioning, and then after that, you have to bring in somebody who's human to come fix the machine that's supposed to replace a whole bunch of other humans.
Mhm.
So I kind of just try to give a unbiased respect on that, but yeah, Shaw's opinion on it.
Well, I have seen where it has affected a lot of things. I just went to one of the grocery stores that I frequent weekly, and they have taken out some of the uh, aisles that cashiers used to stand in, and they have three machines there, so you can self checkout. I've had customer service where I would go online and it would ask me to type what it is that I want. And it does the best it can as far as trying to figure it out. And they keep asking me questions. Did you mean this? Do you mean that? And the end result is I actually need a human being because none of the things that are listed, the machine can help me with. So it is affecting us daily, one way or the other. We have water tax here in Chicago, water bottle tax. So if you buy a bottle of water, any size, you get taxed a nickel on it. Only time
Mm.
that you can get a waiver for that if you are in the program of the food stamps, which are called, let's see what they call it here. It's not WIC. It is, I think it's Link. They kind of changed the name. And then you won't have to pay the tax. However, you need a human being to go to the register and remove that tax. Or if you're in the actual line where the person is ringing up your stuff, the tax is put on automatically and you need the human being to take it off. So it doesn't do everything, but it does help some and it's saving the money. So that's why they're using it a lot, eliminating jobs and all of that.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you think about the AIs? Learning more and more. Maybe taking on like becoming more and more human, like like the AI. I think it's a social program like called Sophia that actually became the first AI to be a citizen in Saudi Arabia.
I heard of it, but I didn't look into all the details of that. But just as far as it recording our voice to get information to learn, it seems invasive. Just it doesn't feel right. But I understand that's how they have to program it. But as far as having an actual thing, a person or machine that has like a body and doing things, that's kind of odd. And it sounds expensive to me. Is there any information about how much it costs them to build that?
I I think it might be. I think like well, as far as the technology it takes to well at least to make it more make it more efficient. I mean, say like AIs are becoming cost, being more and more cost effective
Mm,
far as like training algorithms and all that. But it's but I think they're putting like 600 million into like deep learn, like trying to get the AIs to think more deeply and all that, like to be able to think without you know needing to be told what to do.
mm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we got a reigning woman on here.
Greetings.
How you doing?
Greetings, peaceful greetings, good afternoon.
Good
Yeah,
afternoon.
yeah. We're
How are
glad.
you? Yo, Kelvin,
I'm,
how are you, Char?
we're good.
Good,
I'm good.
good. Hope you're good.
Good,
Yeah. Oh
well.
yeah. I'll go ahead.
No, I was just saying that I'm well. I'm just tuning in and catching into the conversation.
Okay. Well. I mean, we had talked about like I mean, we just talked of 2 points. Like one like you know about like how AIs are you know people are saying AIs are getting ready. You know, more and more come. They're trying to use AIs to take away jobs. You know, jobs that require like repetitive tasks and like it's like predictable. You always like doing the same thing over and over again. That doesn't really require much thought.
Oh man, it definitely is. I mean, honestly, we have watched AI begin within the last 10 years, longer. The thing is that it was so gradual. Excuse me, it was so gradual and it was so light that we didn't really pay attention to it until take it serious.
Well, the last part again, you kind of went in and out.
I said we just didn't pay attention to it enough to take it serious
Okay.
because artificial intelligence has been, like I say, at the bare minimum within the last decade, within the last 10 years, has been taking replacing jobs and increasing, but it was so light, it was so gradual that we didn't pay attention to how serious and the effect of it enough. We just didn't. I think it wasn't, I think that people didn't really begin to pay attention or wanted to pay attention until less cashiers were available, less human cashiers were available in primary stores.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, we
So
paid more attention then.
yeah, yeah, but what do you think about the AIs? Like, you think they're helpful to society, or you think they're detrimental?
I think they're detrimental. I think it's helpful in one sense in making our lives easier, but it's detrimental in the sense and in the awakening of it being it replacing jobs. I
Yeah,
mean, think about it. The first job that most people get out of high school or when they're in still in high school is a fast food job, right? Well, fast food companies are in like small department stores, something like that, or at the mall. Well, fast food companies are getting ready to, and some already have, began to use artificial intelligence more than hiring people, more than hiring human beings.
Okay. So I got another question. You know, both of y'all can both hear your thoughts on both of it. About AIs. Do you think it's possible that they will become the new form of life? Like,
Totally.
yeah, yeah, I think they will. I think it would probably be a long process, of adjusting to it.
I don't think it
But
would be totally,
yeah,
because we're also moving, in my opinion, we're also moving into a period where you will have the have and the have nots. And the middle class is rapidly evaporating. When it gets down to the have and the have nots, there are going to be a lot of things that are luxury to us that the have nots just simply will not be able to afford.
yeah, yeah.
So so a lot of things that might be everyday, and very, very mainstream for people will really will be those that have. It'll be the haves. It'll be those that are considered the elite, because you're going to have the elite, you're going to have like the well off, and you're going to have the poor.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
that's yeah.
I I agree with that because if it's to wipe out everyone, there's no incentive really to make them because the elite is the one that's benefiting off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and like the more I see like the building of like condos and all this different type of stuff, I'm like seeing like, oh, this is a 2008 recession all over again, but this time it'll be a depression.
Yeah, I would say maybe eventually, but I think people are going to figure out that they're going to have to relocate. They're not just going to sit in one place and hope for the better. I think that's going to be the difference this time. And it might not be as bad as we think, but because we've never seen anything like it in our lifetime, it's going to seem awful.
Yeah,
Yep, exactly. I mean, and the more people, what's going to be very harmful for people are the consumers that still have the conditioning and the mindset that they have to keep up with everybody else in the status quo, right? But it's going to be the status quo that's going to kill people.
and I
We're going
and
to,
and
I predict that we will see more suicides
yeah, that's definitely
than, than, than,
definitely
than what we have ever seen in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
next 5 to 10 years.
and even by
Yeah,
drugs too.
yeah, and the increase of drugs, exactly, the increase of substance abuse, exactly. Because think about this, right? We are in such a poor state of being. Our humanity, our society, our humanity and our society is in such a poor state of being that no one wants to really take the time to build healthy relationships. There is a tragic state of individuality. There is an extreme sense still to fit in along with the individuality. Um, Egos and pride is still getting in the way of people from wanting to connect. Well, first of all, from wanting to be humble and ask for help. But you can't ask anyone for help or support if you're too busy trying to look good and save face, and or you lack human connection. You have People don't know how to have a real conversation with people anymore.
Yeah,
and on the premise of nothing else but just having a conversation.
that's true.
Yeah, and I see like these you know, like yeah, AIs will take away jobs that, you know, they're like, you know, repetitive that like a lot of people get, but they can't do the jobs that require like a lot of skill, like art, engineering. You got background noise. All right. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, they have you know, like stuff like art, you know, engineering, you know, stuff like that that takes a lot of skill and effort and, you know, really paying attention to what you're doing. Those type of jobs, you know, AIs won't get. But, you know, but then, you know, it's like I said, you know, it's like downside is a lot of people gonna lose their jobs. But I say the upside is, you know, it'll force people to learn skills to learn how to, you know, do something else and not just, you know, work at a job. As you know,
Would it?
That may not always be a plus because if they charge you to learn with
right.
student and give you student loans and that student loan debt, and you're not going to get paid a decent wage, just enough, it's going to be kind of hard. But I do
Yeah,
understand what you're saying.
I'm like referring more so like to trades. You know, something that you can do anywhere. You know, make your own money, not like just simply going to college. I mean, nothing wrong with anybody going to college, but just like far as like, you know, trade skills, like, you know, like HVAC, you know, electrical work, you know, carpentry, things like that. You know, skills you can take with you. But you know, I want to move on to the next topic. I mean, do y'all think that AIs will be considered, you know, will be treated as fellow living beings if they become more become more and more prevalent, like they have like, you know, bodies like similar to us, but not exactly. Do,
Eventually,
uh,
yeah, I would say
I apologize.
eventually.
what was that?
I apologize. Can you repeat the question?
Oh, I was saying like if AIs became more and more uh if they happen to become, you know, a normal thing, you know, normal thing like where there's more than with bodies like us and they're living in the same world with us, do you think, you know, you think they would ever be accepted as living beings?
Mm, you know, that's a good question. Quite my tin hat tells me that we are already probably among some and don't know it.
Maybe. I mean, you know, it's a lot of technology that's out there that, you know, hasn't been released yet, so I mean, it's possible. Well, I mean, not I mean released. I mean, has been made available to the public, but, but it's possible. But I mean, as far as like you know, there, you know, AI and you know, and like you know, accepting them. Would they be accepted?
I don't know if it would be I don't think it would be accepted totally,
Right.
but I do think that there are a small percentage of people right now that would totally embrace that. And would I think one of the things that is evident of that is the acceptance of sex dolls.
Mm,
We can't ignore, I mean, you can't ignore that. To ignore things like that to me would be foolish, you know. I think we should. I think we owe it to ourselves to be alerted. At the bare minimum, be alerted with it. When you have people, we have more people that are more socially awkward now.
Mhm.
It's so much easier to live on a keyboard.
Mhm.
The keyboard and a screen has given people an outlet that would otherwise just stay behind doors, but they're still behind doors now. They're just getting behind a screen, but their communication behind the screen doesn't more socially apt.
Mhm. And
Yeah, that
that's
kind
what
of. I'll go ahead.
and that's where I was saying that eventually I say yes, it will be tried. It may, and I can see it starting with the elite. Um, is going to get into a business where they'll actually sell them, and they'll be registered, and they'll have names, and they'll have uh, feelings, and all these different things. So uh, it's not going to be all of them, but they will bring it to market as a person or a human being or thing or however they'll classify it. But they'll try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because yeah, I mean, because in my opinion, I think that AIs and machines do have souls, but I mean, I know some people will probably disagree with that because they think only flesh and blood can carry souls. But I'm like, souls like something you can't even see, and I mean, if it's souls on body, no telling what other things could have souls. So I'm like I'm open to it, but it's like the same time I'm not going to totally dismiss it either.
Okay.
Right.
So okay, as far as that, like I know that some people will say it's a bad thing, because they seen the Terminator, Terminator scenario where the machines have decided that humanity wasn't worth saving. Humanity need to be wiped out, or or it could be like the Matrix. If you ever seen the Animatrix, where the machines were treated like slaves, and when one decided to defend itself against this human being, instead of treating it as it was, abuse to a sentient being, you treat this being unfairly, like it's not even it doesn't have feelings, like because like in that scenario it does have in that type of movie it did have feelings, and then it started a whole war against the humans and machines, and then eventually the machines won and used the humans as batteries. So just like just to try to shorten it down, like how, I mean, does that scenario worry you, or does that or does that or do you think that's a 50-50 thing, or do you think it's going to happen?
For myself, I just choose to be as aware as possible, take nothing as far as artificial intelligence and the increase of technology for granted. Just try to be as informed as I can so that I can move like I should.
Yeah.
And just try to be as of a sound mind as much as possible to make whatever decisions need to be made on a whim's notice or with an advance notice. And I think that to me, I think that that is what we are oftentimes distracted from so many things pulling on our energies and pulling on our emotions. I
Okay,
want
so
to
what
pay
do you?
attention. I'm paying attention. I'm just paying attention and ready to move.
Okay,
And
Shaw, what do you think? Yeah, that's what I was
and
gonna
for
ask.
me, it's not totally impossible, but I don't think we would see it. Those that are living now will actually see it uh, come to that because it'll take some time to implement everything. There'll be so many different phases. Then again, the
Hmm.
elite is going to make money off of it, and then you'll have more evil coming in. And that's why I don't think we will ever live long enough to see that particular part of it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, and this question is more like a theory that I had. I think that, like, if AI has become a more prevalent thing, like, they're walking around and communicating with us and all that. I think it would probably be up to the human race to guide them, because I think it would be up to us, because, like, we're the ones that program machines and teach them how to learn and all that. So even if they have their own ability to think for themselves, it's still because of human beings. And I think like probably as humans now, we wouldn't be well equipped to deal with them. But I think it's coming soon, like where you have human beings who are wise enough to actually guide AIs in the right direction. I think there'll be eventuality, but that's just my theory on it. What do y'all think about it?
I don't really have much. I'm just saying that I can't picture it. Um, yeah, I can't really picture that in steps. I guess I can say.
Okay, what do
I
you think, Randall?
I
Okay.
agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, it's just like something I've thought about, and I'm just like, there's like so many shows and movies about it. One showing the darker side, like the movies I named there, and then there's like shows like I forgot the name of the show with the AI wrote with the AI partner. Was it Human Touch? I'm trying to think.
Well, I'm not familiar with the show.
It only had like one season, but it was a good show. It was like a white cop, but it was like a black AI robot cop. It was on
Mm.
Fox. Well, like, well, with shows like that, and even then, and I think this will probably go in like the transhumanism, like where people can be connected with machines. So even with that, you can be that probably be another way to connect with one another. So what do you think about transhumanism? I know Shar probably won't know much about it. I don't really know too much about it myself, but from what I heard about it is like about like trying to integrate humanity with machines.
Yeah, I'm
So
not familiar with that.
yeah,
I'm not versed in that, so I won't make a comment.
okay, yeah. I'm like I say, I don't know really much about it, but let's see. I guess we could start try to see what I mean. I seen like Leah said that that like AI gonna put a lot of people out of blue collar jobs, which I mean some of them, but not all of them. But I mean, if anybody wants to come, have any questions for the panel, then I can probably see probably ask one more question, and then I guess if no one has any other questions, then and I'll just in here because I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything else after this question. But I mean, besides like what we talked about, what do you think the future of AI is going? Is it going in a good direction, or did it kind of veer off course and maybe needs to be corrected, or is it heading to a bad direction?
Well, for me, it's because it's new. It's going in a good direction, and eventually it will be off course and go in a bad direction because of greed.
Yeah, I can see that. What about you, random woman?
But like I said a little while ago, it's just that some aspects of it, is positive, and that it makes life easier. Um, in some sense, it's also making humans lazy in some sense, and ultimately it can be detrimental. So I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages.
Okay, I just like
Period.
it. And yeah, I just thought of something else. Like, would like when AIs become like being outside like robotic bodies or whatever, and they and people have them in their homes. Would it? I mean, would you see that as slavery, or would you see it like, oh, just another tool in the house, even though it can think on its own and do other things?
I would consider anything that's not created by God to have the breath of. I believe in the Creator, and I believe that our that gives us life, the breath of life. I would not consider anything that is man-made, not holding the Most High in it, involving a tool. It may look like a human being, but just because it looks like a human being does not make it a human being. It's not a human creation. It's a man. I will not regard a human creation with the same respect or the same value of a human being. I will not.
Um,
Is it because you don't consider it human being, or is it just because like it's just machine and you don't think that it should deserve any respect?
Well, I mean,
I'm
yeah,
just,
that's what it is. It's a machine. That's what it is. It's a machine. I don't value like I don't. It's no more or it's no less of a value of my automobile than what my automobile is, and I don't value my automobile over the value of a human being. It has a function. It has a job. So if
so
you have
I'll go ahead.
if you have an artificial intelligence object that is created to cook your dinner, cook your meals, to be your cook, to be your chef, that's its position. That's what it's supposed to. That's what it's supposed to do. That's not slavery. It's using it for the functionality that it's created for.
But what if it's capable of deep thought and it has its own ideas about what it wants to do? What if it
It,
like
it's not a human being. It is a machine. It does not have the breath of life.
so if it doesn't have so that conscience doesn't have flesh and blood, then you don't consider it worth respect, right?
It's a machine. It does not have the breath of life.
Okay.
and I
That's
look at
true.
it also. I
I'll
look
go
at
ahead.
it also as a tool and not slavery, because it was made and it was made by hand, it was made by humans. So it's used as a tool because it is a tool.
Okay. Okay. I think that's probably all the questions I got. Let's see if there's any questions in the chat. If there's not, which I don't see. I guess I have y'all give y'all last thoughts. Uh, Shar, what do
Okay.
you got? Any last thoughts?
Last thoughts is thank you for inviting me, and it was a great show.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Okay, Rainy Woman.
Those are my sentiments as well. A very interesting topic, and I definitely think talking about artificial intelligence is discussions that need to be had more. It is the
Yeah,
wave of the future, and the
yeah,
future is nearer than further. So, the more informed that we can be about technology and the science behind it, and try our best to look and prepare ourselves forward moving, the better chance that we have to survive science in this world of technology. Better chance we'll have.
yeah. I mean, we definitely gonna go come back to this conversation again, but right now, I think it's probably good for right now. So I'm gonna give some shout outs before I go. First, shout out to you too, and then shout out to Captain PY2. Shout out to the Leah Parchment. Shout out to Art New Style TV. Yeah, I think that's it. And I appreciate y'all for coming to the panel. I mean,
Thank you.
even though I'll go ahead. Will you'll say right one?
I just said thank you for having me.
Oh yeah. I definitely appreciate you coming at the last minute. But yeah. Like I said, I appreciate both y'all for coming in and talking about it. It's just an interesting topic. I've been wanting to talk about, and like I said before, we will have this conversation again, but hopefully with more material and be more informed on it when we come back to it. So I mean, I'll just have to schedule, when we'll have the other one like that. But right now, I enjoy the conversation. First panel was my first panel. It was a success, and I appreciate you having y'all on.
Thank
So
you.
I guess yeah. So I guess I'll see everyone later, and and until next time.
Peace.